Your past is a chapter, not the whole book. The mistakes, the heartbreaks, the failures, they're not chains around your ankles. They're lessons, scars that prove you survived. Stop giving your past the power to own your future. You're not meant to live there. You're meant to rise from it. The truth is, too many people are living as prisoners of their own memories. They replay old moments like a broken record, convinced that the soundtrack of their life is set in stone. You wake up, and before the day even begins, your mind drags you back into the shadows of what happened years ago. What someone said, how you failed, where you messed up. You carry the weight of yesterday into every conversation, every opportunity, every new beginning. And you wonder why life feels heavy. It's because you haven't learned how to cut the rope. You're dragging dead weight into a life that was meant to be lived free. You cannot heal in the same space that broke you. Read that again. Because if you keep surrounding yourself with the people, the places, and the habits that belong to your past, you're not just remembering the pain. You're keeping it alive. Every time you tell the same story about how you were wronged, how you lost everything, how unfair life has been, you breathe oxygen into an old fire. And then you wonder why the flames never die down. Healing requires distance. It requires the courage to step away from what's familiar, even if it feels safe. Safety isn't always freedom. Sometimes it's just the comfort of your own cage. And I get it. You've been through things that broke you to your core. You didn't just stumble, you were knocked down, blindsided, left on the floor. Maybe the betrayal came from someone you loved with your whole heart. Maybe the failure was so public, it left a permanent scar on your confidence. Maybe the loss was so deep that you thought you'd never recover. I'm not here to minimize your pain. I'm here to tell you that it's not the pain keeping you stuck. It's the way you keep revisiting it. You go back, hoping to find a different ending, but the past isn't going to change. The only thing that can change is you. You have to stop identifying yourself by the worst thing that ever happened to you. That's not your name. That's not your worth. That's not your future. Yet so many people introduce themselves to life with labels they never asked for. I'm the one who failed. I'm the one who got cheated on. I'm the one who lost everything. You wear these moments like a badge, but instead of empowering you, they weigh you down. Your past is a place of reference, not a place of residence. Visit it for the lessons, but do not unpack your bags and live there. The reason so many people feel powerless is because they've handed over the keys to their mind. They've allowed their past to become their script, and they keep acting out the same scene over and over again. But here's the thing. You can tear that script up anytime you want. You can decide today that the story changes here. You can decide that you are no longer going to be the victim of what happened, but the author of what's next. It's not about forgetting. It's about refusing to let yesterday be the dictator of your tomorrow. There's a version of you that exists beyond the pain, beyond the failure, beyond the labels. But you will never meet that version if you keep standing in the doorway of what's already burned to the ground. At some point, you have to stop walking in circles inside your own history and step forward into something new. The longer you stay tied to what broke you, the longer you delay the life you were meant to live. Freedom isn't something someone else hands you. It's a choice you make when you say, enough. I'm done letting the past own me. And when you make that decision, you don't just walk out of the prison. you realize the door was never locked in the first place. I don't care how many times life has knocked you down or how badly it has bruised you. Your story is not over. Too many people treat their past like a full stop when it was only a comma. They take one devastating chapter and let it define the entire book. They stop dreaming, stop trying, stop believing because somewhere along the way they decided, this is it. This is all I'll ever be. But life is not a single event. Life is a collection of seasons. And just because you've been through a brutal winter doesn't mean spring isn't coming. Your story is still being written. And as long as there is breath in your body, you hold the pen. Some people think the worst moment in their life is the end of the road. They think losing that job, that relationship, that chance is the end of everything. They start speaking about their life as if the best is already behind them. They stop showing up for opportunities because they think they're past their time. But the truth is, you are never past your time until you decide you are. Every great comeback story begins in the middle of chaos, when everything looks impossible. The people who rise are the ones who refuse to accept that their last chapter was their final one. You can rewrite your story at any point, but only if you stop treating the past as prophecy. The danger comes when you confuse one page with the entire book. You might have made mistakes, and you might still be living with the consequences of those mistakes. But that doesn't mean the rest of your life has to look the same. People forget that growth is not about perfection. It's about progression. It's about deciding that the next page will be better than the last, even if the last one was filled with pain. Every single day you wake up is a fresh page. You decide what goes on it. You decide how it reads. You decide whether it's a story of redemption or a story of defeat. It's easy to believe your story is over when all you see are the ashes of what used to be. But what if the ashes are just the beginning? What if the loss was the clearing you needed to plant something better? Sometimes, life will strip you bare not to destroy you, but to rebuild you into something stronger, wiser, more unshakable. The tragedy isn't in falling apart, it's in never realizing you can rise again. Every powerful person you admire has a story filled with setbacks, failures, and heartbreaks. But what makes their story different is that they refuse to let it end in the middle. They turn the page. The worst thing you can do is surrender your pen to the pain of yesterday. If you let the past hold the pen, it will keep writing the same chapter over and over. You'll wake up 5 years from now, living the same life, telling the same sad story, wondering why nothing changed. But you have the power to take it back. You have the power to write something new, something bold, something worthy of the life you were meant to live. You don't need anyone's permission to begin again. You don't need the approval of the people who doubted you. You just need the courage to put the pen in your own hand and write like your life depends on it. Because it does. Your story is not over, and it never will be until you decide it is. That means you can change the direction anytime you want. That means you can go from failure to success, from heartbreak to healing, from being overlooked to becoming unstoppable. You are the author, not the victim. You have chapters inside you that you haven't even imagined yet. The question is not whether your story can continue. It's whether you'll be brave enough to turn the page and see what's waiting for you. Forgiveness, one of the most misunderstood acts of strength you will ever perform. People think forgiving means letting someone off the hook, erasing what they did, pretending it never happened. That's not forgiveness, that's denial. Forgiveness is not about saying, it's okay. It's about saying, it's over. It's about refusing to let the poison of resentment sit in your system and slowly eat away at your peace. Holding on to anger is like holding a burning coal with the intention of throwing it at someone else. You're the one getting burned. And the longer you grip it, the more damage you do to yourself. We often think our anger keeps us safe. We believe that if we stay bitter, we're protecting ourselves from getting hurt again. But bitterness doesn't protect you. It isolates you. It builds walls so high that even love can't get in. You tell yourself you're guarding your heart, but in reality, you're locking yourself inside a prison you built with your own hands. Forgiveness is the key that opens that door. Not for them, for you. Because when you forgive, you are no longer chained to the moment that broke you. You are free to walk forward without dragging the weight of what they did behind you. Some of you have been carrying grudges for years, even decades. You've memorized every detail of the betrayal, every word of the argument, every look on their face. You replay it like a movie, and every time you do, you feel the same pain you felt on the day it happened. That's the cruel part. Your mind doesn't know the difference between the memory and the moment. By holding on, you're reliving the wound over and over again. Forgiveness doesn't mean you forget. It means you stop rehearsing the pain. It means you give yourself permission to feel something other than hurt. And let's be honest, sometimes the hardest person to forgive is yourself. You carry shame for the choices you made, for the moments you wish you could undo. You look back and think, if only I had known better. If only I had been stronger. But you did what you knew how to do with what you had at the time. You were learning. You were surviving. Beating yourself up for not being perfect is like punishing a child for not knowing calculus. You grow, you learn, you do better. And part of doing better is forgiving yourself for the times you didn't. Forgiveness is not a one-time event. It's a process. Some days you'll feel like you've let it go, and other days, the hurt will creep back in. That doesn't mean you failed. It means you're human. Healing is like peeling layers off an onion. There's always another layer to uncover. But every time you choose to release the anger, every time you choose to let go of the need for revenge, you take another step toward freedom. The more you choose forgiveness, the lighter your heart becomes. The lighter your heart becomes, the more space there is for joy, for peace, for love. And make no mistake, choosing forgiveness is not about them deserving it. Most of the time, they don't. It's about you deserving peace. It's about you deciding that your future is too valuable to waste on relieving a wound from the past. It's about reclaiming the energy you've been spending on anger and using it to build something better. Forgiveness doesn't mean you let people back into your life to hurt you again. It means you stop letting them hurt you without even being in the room. You stop giving them free rent in your mind. You stop letting what they did dictate how you feel today. Forgiveness is the ultimate act of taking your power back. Every painful experience you've had carries within it the seed of transformation. The problem is, most people never plant it. They let it rot. They sit in the darkness, asking why life was so cruel, why people betrayed them, why failure found them. But pain was never meant to be your permanent address. It was meant to be your training ground. Every setback you've faced could be the very thing that sharpens you. If you let it, you can take the same event that crushed you and use it as the fuel that propels you forward, but only if you stop seeing it as a curse and start seeing it as raw material for your comeback. Pain will either break you or build you. It depends on what you do with it. Some people carry their pain like an anchor, letting it weigh them down in every area of life. They talk about it, live in it, even hide behind it when it's time to grow. But others take that same pain and use it like a rocket engine. They remember the sleepless nights, the humiliation, the gut punch moments, and instead of letting it crush them, they let it light a fire so strong it makes them unstoppable. The past can be a prison, or it can be the power plant that fuels your future. The choice is yours. One of the most dangerous questions you can keep asking yourself is, why did this happen to me? That question will trap you in a cycle of self, pity, and blame. You'll dig for answers that may never come, and in the process, you'll waste the very time you could be using to build something new. Instead, the question needs to change to, what is this teaching me? That simple shift moves you from victim to student. And once you become a student of your own life, even your failures start working for you. You stop fighting the reality of the past and start extracting its wisdom. That wisdom is the fuel you can use to go further than you've ever gone before. The truth is, no one who ever achieved anything extraordinary got there without pain. The most inspiring people you'll ever meet have been through storms you couldn't imagine, and it's those storms that gave them the grit to keep moving when the world told them to stop. Pain has a way of carving out capacity in you. Capacity for resilience, for courage, for vision. It teaches you to fight harder, to work smarter, to value what matters. But this transformation only happens when you stop seeing your pain as a weight and start treating it like a weapon. There's something powerful about proving your past wrong, taking the insults, the doubt, the failures, and building something so great it silences every voice that said you couldn't. But you can't do that while nursing your wounds like they're treasures. You can't do that while staying in environments that keep reopening them. If you want to use your past as fuel, you have to get intentional about turning the lesson into action. You have to take the energy of your pain and channel it into building, creating, pushing, and growing. You have to use it to develop the kind of discipline and persistence that makes your success inevitable. At the end of the day, your pain is either your excuse or your reason. You can let it justify why you stay small, or you can make it the driving force behind why you rise. When you look back at your life, you will either see a series of moments that crushed you, or you will see a trail of moments that shaped you into someone unbreakable. Every loss, every betrayal, every heartbreak, it's all potential energy, waiting for you to decide what to do with it. Let it sit there, and it will decay into bitterness. Turn it into fuel, and it will carry you further than you ever thought possible. You cannot expect to create a new future while staying surrounded by the reminders of an old life. Every environment you step into either pushes you forward or pulls you back. People underestimate how much their surroundings shape their thoughts, their habits, and ultimately their destiny. If you're serious about growth, you cannot afford to keep breathing in the same air that poisoned your past. This isn't just about leaving toxic people. It's about outgrowing entire mindsets, conversations, and lifestyles that keep you chained to who you used to be. Change your environment, and you change the direction of your life. The people around you are either your anchors or your sails. Some will weigh you down with doubt, gossip, and negativity until you can't move an inch toward your dreams. Others will catch the wind with you, pushing you further than you could have gone alone. But you cannot sail with anchors attached. Too many people hold on to relationships out of loyalty to history instead of loyalty to their future. Just because someone was part of your journey doesn't mean they're meant to be part of your destination. If they cannot celebrate your growth, they will sabotage it, sometimes without even realizing it. Your conversations shape your vision. Spend enough time with people who only talk about the past, and your life will start moving backward. Spend enough time with people who dream small, and your own dreams will shrink to fit their comfort zone. If you want to grow, you have to surround yourself with those who see possibility where others see limits, with those who challenge you to level up, with those who remind you of who you're becoming instead of who you used to be. You can't rewrite your life story in a room full of people committed to the old script. Habits are contagious. You could have all the discipline in the world, but if you spend every day around people who live without purpose, it will infect your own behavior. If your friends waste their time, you will too. If your circle normalizes mediocrity, soon you'll find yourself lowering your standards to fit in. That's why your environment isn't just about who you talk to. It's about what you consume, where you spend your time, and what you allow into your head and heart. If it doesn't align with the person you're building, it doesn't belong in your life. There's a cost to upgrading your environment, and that cost is comfort. You may have to walk away from people you've known for years, from routines that feel safe, from spaces that carry the illusion of belonging. You may have to be misunderstood, criticized, or even resented for choosing yourself. But understand this: comfort zones don't produce growth, they produce stagnation. And if the price of growth is losing a few people who can't grow with you, it's a price worth paying. The future you're building is worth more than the comfort of staying the same. Your energy is your most valuable currency, and your environment is either depositing into it or draining it dry. Protect it like your life depends on it, because it does. Every time you allow negativity into your space, you're allowing your vision to be weakened. Every time you let people speak fear into your plans, you're allowing doubt to grow roots. But when you curate an environment that fuels you, people who push you, places that inspire you, habits that strengthen you, you set yourself up for momentum so powerful that nothing from your past can pull you back. All you truly have is this moment. Not yesterday, not tomorrow, right now. Yet most people waste the present by living in the past or worrying about the future. They wake up thinking about what went wrong years ago or what might go wrong years from now. In doing so, they rob themselves of the only time they can actually influence: the present. The past is over and the future is not promised. But this moment, this second in your hands, is pure power. If you don't use it intentionally, it slips away and you never get it back. Living in the now means refusing to be a hostage to old stories. It means you stop replaying conversations that can't be changed. Stop regretting choices that cannot be undone. Stop wishing you could rewrite what's already been written. The past is a closed door. You can stand in front of it forever, pounding on it, crying, begging for it to open, but it won't. The door to your future opens in the present, and the handle is in your hands right now. Every second you spend staring at the old door is a second you're not walking through the new one. Too many people live like life is on hold, waiting for the right time to begin. They think they need more money, more confidence, more approval before they can take the first step. But the perfect moment doesn't exist. Life is not waiting for you to be ready. It's moving with or without you. If you don't take control of your now, it will slip into the pile of summer days that never come. The truth is, the most life-changing decisions are made in imperfect moments. They're made when the future is uncertain, but the desire to change the present is undeniable. Being present is not about ignoring the future. It's about building it with the choices you make today. Every action you take right now is a seed planted in the soil of your tomorrow. Waste this moment and you starve your future. Use this moment wisely and you feed it. That's why the most powerful people are not the ones who obsess over what might happen. They are the ones who focus on what they can do now to influence it. They don't spend all day thinking about the mountain. They take the step right in front of them. Step by step, moment by moment, the mountain moves. When you learn to live fully in the now, you stop being paralyzed by the weight of the past and the uncertainty of the future. You start showing up differently. Your energy changes. You speak with more conviction, work with more intensity, love with more presence. People feel the difference in you because you're not distracted. You're here. Opportunities show up more often because you're paying attention. And when they do, you're ready to act, not stuck hesitating in fear or hesitation. The present is where life happens, where growth happens, where change happens. Every dream, every achievement, every transformation began with someone deciding to use the moment they had instead of waiting for a better one. The past is a teacher, the future is a vision, but the present is the workshop where you build both. If you can master the discipline of living in this exact moment, of wringing every drop of potential out of it, you will no longer just survive, you will create. You will no longer just hope, you will act. And in doing so, you will turn no into the foundation of everything you ever wanted. Your past is not your life sentence. It's your training ground. Everything that happened to you has prepared you for this moment. The pain shaped you. The losses refined you. The failures sharpened you. But they do not own you. The only way the past can hold you is if you keep giving it permission. Right now, you have the power to step into a future that looks nothing like your yesterday. Not when you feel ready, not when everything is perfect. Now, because the life you're dreaming of won't be built by the person you used to be. It will be built by the person you decide to become today. And the moment you choose to break free, nothing from your past can stop you.